A new year can bring so many opportunities to the forefront, but the changing calendar can also be a reminder that cruelty does not stick to a schedule and that misfortune can strike at any time. And there have already been several casualties on the small screen as network bosses swing their newly sharpened axes. With that in mind then, I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 TV shows already cancelled in 2023. Number 10. One of Us is Lying. In 2017, author Karen M. McManus released One of Us is Lying, a young adult murder mystery novel set in a high school. Based on the book of the same name, One of Us is Lying, the TV show, follows a nasty detention session where local gossip lover Simon suffers an allergic reaction to some peanuts and then dies. After initially just writing the whole thing off as a nasty accident, police find that the deceased had potentially life-changing dirt on 4 of the other people that he was in detention with, so perhaps his demise wasn't so accidental after all. The book did well enough to get turned into a series, which Peacock put out 2 seasons of between 2021 and 2022. But sadly, much like Simon himself, the show was killed off in early 2023. This announcement came around the same time that it was revealed that another Peacock show, Vampire Academy, also got its last rites. And if you're waiting for us to explain what Vampire Academy is, then just stop, because it's exactly what it says it is on the tin. Unfortunately, it seems like it was not an amicable decision to cancel One of Us is Lying either, with star Annalisa Coltrane posting an article about it on Instagram, followed by the caption, "Ouch." Number 9. Pantheon. Moving to AMC now, in the realm of animation, the adult sci-fi show Pantheon is sadly coming to an end. The series centers around the work of the Logarithms, a dodgy tech company experimenting to preserve human consciousness via a cloud-like storage system. Drawn into the fray are Katie Cheng's Maddie, whose father becomes part of the cloud, and a 17-year-old boy named Caspian, voiced by Paul Dano. And once you get past the fact that Dano himself is 38, the show is really fun. It's got a good premise, it looks fantastic, and the 2 leads are backed by heavyweight talent like Daniel Day Kim, Rosemary DeWitt, and Aaron Eckhart. However, cartoons aimed at adults are still a tough nut to crack, and Pantheon has found this out the hard way. Despite receiving a 2-series order from the network, the show got shut down earlier this year. And even more horrifically, it seems that Pantheon got the Batgirl treatment, as season 2 was allegedly already produced and ready to go. However, a Variety report suggests that the cancellation is part of a tax-cutting measure and nothing to do with the show's quality. Now, not to get on my high horse, but what an insulting era we live in, where completed works are just canned to save a few tax dollars. Number 8. Uncoupled. Co-written by Emily in Paris hotshot Darren Star, Uncoupled was a Neil Patrick Harris vehicle that saw the How I Met Your Mother alum starring as Michael Lawson, a newly single man who has to navigate the modern New York dating scene after 17 years of relationship bliss. Sadly, we'll never find out how Michael does, as the show became yet another casualty of Netflix's recent TV show killing spree. Despite getting decent reviews from critics and the star being in Netflix's good books, Uncoupled was abruptly cancelled after just a single season. Again, according to the Variety report about the news, it seems that the producers failed to shop the show to another network as well, fully snuffing out dreams of a second run. Don't feel too bad for Neil though, as he's got big-time appearances in Doctor Who and How I Met Your Father lined up for this year. Number 7. 61st Street. Another sacrificial lamb in AMC's tax ritual is 61st Street, a legal drama set in the mean world of Chicago. Starring ex-Doctor Who companion Tosin Cole, the series is about a promising young black athlete who gets swept up in the racist justice system after being accused of being in a gang. He's backed up by the legendary Courtney B. Vance as his lawyer, as the reasons for his false accusation become clearer and clearer. But not clear enough, unfortunately, as announced by the network, AMC will not be moving forward with its plans to air the 2nd season of 61st Street. This again is a devastating blow, as the drama was really beginning to go somewhere, and also this was a huge opportunity for British star Cole to make a big impact across the pond. And like a few other examples on this list, the show's second run had already been filmed, so maybe it'll be reincarnated on a different platform, or maybe it's going to be locked in the vault like so many others and never see the light of day. Number 6. The Mosquito Coast. With so much discussion on Nepo babies recently, here's one for you. The Mosquito Coast was an Apple TV drama project based on the book by Paul Theroux. That book came out in 1981 and cut forward 30 years later, and Paul Theroux's nephew, Justin Theroux, stars and executive produces alongside his uncle this adaptation that ran for 2 seasons on the streamer. A loose adaptation, the third run was apparently going to begin tying more directly into the events of the novel. However, Apple has cancelled the series just days after the second season finale aired on January 6th. You can see why this one might have gotten the boot though. Reviews were mixed across the board, and despite airing 17 episodes, the show didn't manage to catch on with audiences. Number 5, Inside Job. And it's Netflix back again, and they're cancelling yet another beloved animated series before its time. These guys in AMC are really trying to outdo each other, huh? Billed as Netflix Animation's first in-house production, Inside Job is set in a world controlled by several secret societies. One such shadowy group, Cognito Inc., is home to our protagonist Reagan Ridley as she attempts to make the world a better place. Now, this cancellation was particularly cruel, as Netflix actually announced that the show would be getting a second season, and then 6 months later went psych and proclaimed that the show was terminated with no follow-up to come. Fans of the show were shocked, and there were a lot of them as well, as Inside Job was really popular thanks to its innovative story, well-written humor, and stacked voice cast. Of all the Netflix cancellations so far this year, this has definitely been amongst the worst received online. And believe it or not, we're not done talking about the streamer just yet, because number 4, Cobra Kai. Although it didn't start on Netflix, the streamer has been the home of the insanely popular Cobra Kai for its last 3 seasons, and of course, is yet another casualty of Netflix's axe. However, this one has thankfully been thrown a bone. Unlike shows that have been unceremoniously dropped, or even worse, had filmed seasons just canned because screw you, I guess, Cobra Kai is getting a 6th and final season to finish off the story, as the showrunners have explained on their terms. In a press release, the creators called the news bittersweet, but have stressed that the upcoming run will be the show's biggest in scope yet and will conclude all the main storylines. The air date hasn't been set yet, but the previous 2 seasons debuted on Netflix at the end of the year, so episodes of Cobra Kai's farewell run could be ready before 2023 is out. Number 3, Fear the Walking Dead. Another cancellation that thankfully comes with the promise of one more season to wrap things up. AMC announced that the 8th run of Fear the Walking Dead will be its last, with the premiere coming this May. Now, some might say that it's simply because the show has the words The Walking Dead in its title that AMC actually gave enough of a damn to give it episodes to round off the story, as it's clear that the network is all in on the next phase of its planned universe. But hey, who knows with these guys? The OG Walking Dead show wrapped last year, and it seems that focus is primarily on a spate of new spin-offs, including one focusing on Daryl Dixon, another on Rick Grimes and Michonne, and one more on Negan and Maggie in New York. To some, Fear's cancellation will be seen as a mercy though, as the once promising spin-off has devolved into a shadow of its former self in recent years. Number 2, 1899. From the creators of Netflix's Dark came 1899, a historical science fiction mystery set in the year, well, I probably don't have to tell you, do I? The series follows a group of people from all different nations as they migrate across the sea from the UK to New York City. But things soon get spooky when their vessel's sister ship turns up after it was previously thought to be lost. From there, we get weird ghost children, strange symbols, and a MacGuffin to boot, but what does any of it actually mean? Well, who knows, because Netflix went and cancelled it less than 2 months after it first dropped. Now, the outrage surrounding 1899's cancellation was enormous, as thousands upon thousands of people expressed just how stupid they thought this call was, especially with how many views the first season brought in. There's even a petition going around right now to bring it back from its watery grave. People really are burned by this one in particular, and while it might be the case that this popular IP gets picked up somewhere else, one thing that is for certain is that Netflix really messed up with this one. Number 1, Gossip Girl. If you sat there right now wondering how the hell did it take them this long to cancel Gossip Girl, then just stop, because it actually didn't. This version is actually a sequel of the popular Naughty show with a mostly new cast, although we do get a couple of cameos from old favorites, and also Kristen Bell is back as the narrator, which actually did kind of rule. With all of the salaciousness and scandal of its predecessor, fans had high hopes for Gossip Girl 2.0. But those hopes were dashed on January 19th when showrunner Joshua Safran announced on Twitter that the show's time was coming to an end, tweeting, quote, "So, here's the goss. It is with the heaviest of hearts that I have to announce Gossip Girl will not be continuing on HBO Max. The EPs and I will forever be grateful to the network and studio for their faith and support, the writers for their devious brains and dexterous talent, the superstar cast for being the greatest of collaborators and friends, and the crew for their hard work, dedication, and love for the project." And again, this is a tragedy, as despite being the most watched HBO original series ever upon its launch, the steam just ran out and the network had apparently had enough. So that's our list. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you gutted about any of these shows being cancelled? And are there any others you absolutely hope manage to see it through to another season? Let me know, and while you're down there, if you could, please give us a like, share, subscribe, and head over to whatculture.com for more lists and news like this every single day. Even if you don't though, I've been Josh, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.